We've now done 2 years with our lithium batteries and we're very pleased. But we still have some AGM batteries on the boat. While testing these AGMs, we realised we hadn't really done a good, unbiased and objective view of the different types of batteries and compared them for either value or performance. Lithium prices have significantly decreased over the last 2 years, and when you start to compare apples with apples, it may be a good time to think about changing to lithium. But if you are, there's a few facts that you need to know. At this moment in time, there's no like-for-like swap from lead-acid based batteries to lithium. The way lithium is charged and wired up is critical to its performance and can actually be a safety feature. It needs to be fused in the right way and you need to have the right circuits in place. In this unsponsored video, we're going to tell you objectively what we think these key points are. And so regardless of what type of battery you have on your boat or are thinking of in the future, we'll give you an informed and unbiased opinion on the different battery types. I'll keep the explanations simple and concise, and there won't be lots of technical mumbo jumbo. Just what you need to know. Enjoy the video, guys. The price of lead has actually stayed relatively stable since about 2009. Interestingly, the global market for lead-acid based batteries, and that includes AGM, continues to grow at somewhere between 10 and 12%. That's quite interesting. So don't worry, lead-acid batteries are here to stay and they'll be with us for some time into the future. However, if we look at the batteries you and I would buy from Amazon, prices are definitely falling. So for this video, we've used batteries available from Amazon. They're all 12 volt, 100 amp hour, or the equivalent of. We've used lead acid, AGM, gel, and of course, lithium. And so that you can see we're comparing apples with apples, we've quantified all the data, put it into a table, and we're showing you that table so you can make your own mind up. We're not fiddling the figures. So let's look at our first battery type, a lead acid battery. Now these batteries are all rated as leisure. This battery is sold at $89.99, just a penny under £90. Lead acid batteries have pros and cons. Let's look at the pros first. They can take some overcharging and they're relatively inexpensive these days. Now the cons are they require maintenance, topping up and checking. They have a high self-discharge rate. They don't handle vibration too well. Obviously they contain acid. They can explode when charging or discharging, and they can give off dangerous gases. They're also quite heavy. The build-up of a typical lead acid battery is shown here. Now although these batteries are heavy, the lead plates aren't actually solid lead. The plates are more of a matrix of lead. The increased surface area that this causes allows the battery to charge and discharge quicker. The batteries have to breathe when charging and discharging, and they give off oxygen and hydrogen as they do so. This cocktail of gases is highly explosive. The acid inside the battery is a dilute solution of sulfuric acid, H2SO4. A bad battery, or a battery that's been overcharged, can give off a gas called hydrogen sulfide. This smells a bit like rotten eggs. If you smell this smell on your boat or someone else's, you should evacuate the boat immediately and don't turn any lights on or use any electrical equipment. You should open the windows and only return when the boat is fully ventilated and you remove the mains charger plug from the pedestal on the dock. And that could be a couple of hours later. We found this gel battery, 100 amp hour 12 volt, advertised at £132.11. Gel batteries have been around for quite a while now, and they too have pros and cons. Most gel batteries are almost maintenance free. The potential for leaking acid does not exist, and they're good in extreme temperatures. However, they're very sensitive to overcharging. They tend to be expensive. The acid inside them is in a gel. We call this an electrolyte, but it doesn't lessen the weight of the battery. They're still pretty heavy. The makeup of gel batteries is pretty similar. The electrolyte is actually a gel, but the basic makeup is pretty similar. And yes, they still give off gases when charging and discharging, and for this they have to have a relief valve built into them. Absorbent glass mat or AGM batteries again are lead acid based. They haven't been around as long as lead acid batteries, and the technology is relatively new. We found this battery, 100 amp hour 12 volt, for £129.74 on Amazon. Let's look at the pros and cons of AGM. The electrolyte in an AGM is contained within an absorbent glass mat. There's no maintenance or spills risk. They have a low self-discharge rate and a long lifespan. They tend to be rather expensive, and again, they are heavy. You can see from this AGM battery build-up it's very similar to a gel or even a lead acid battery. The main difference is that the AGM separators or glass mat separators immobilise the electrolyte. The gridwork within the battery is much more open compared with some other batteries, and it's this that helps with its performance. Like all other batteries, the AGM requires venting, and it does give off gases when charging or discharging, but not as much as a liquid lead acid battery. As we said, AGM batteries are very susceptible for overcharging, and it's not unknown for them to swell up quite considerably if overcharged or when they fail. This is the cheapest 100 amp hour LiFePO4 battery that we could find on Amazon. It's priced at £169. It has an internal regulator called a BMS or battery management system, and it's this system which regulates the rate of charge and discharge. Some more expensive lithium batteries have this BMS connected to a Bluetooth system which you can monitor with an app on your phone. Each cell on a lithium battery is 3.6 volts, not 2 volts as on a lead acid battery. Now, to be fair and open, this was the cheapest LiFePO4 battery we could find. The next nearest priced battery was £199.99 for a 100 amp hour lithium battery. So let's have a look at the pros and cons of lithium, specifically LiFePO4 batteries. Lithium batteries don't require any maintenance and there's no spill issues. They have approximately double the output of a similar lead acid battery. They have very low self-discharge rate and a long lifespan. Some of them are guaranteed up to 10 years. They're now inexpensive in comparison to other batteries. They have a third of the weight of a lead-acid battery. However, there's still the perceived risk of thermal runaway with lithium batteries. We'll go into that later. They need a specific charging regime, and they are very sensitive to overcharging. And something I haven't put in this little graphic is that they must be used with a battery management system. You cannot use a lithium battery without managing the way it is charged and discharged. Having said that, most proprietary batteries that you'll be buying from Amazon or the likes of will have a battery management system contained within the battery, like this one. Once again, lithium batteries are made up in layers. They have an anode and cathode like a lead acid battery, and they have separators inside and an electrolyte. The build-up of these materials, lithium and iron, within the battery give an extremely low resistance. The chemical reaction within a lithium battery happens much faster than a lead acid battery. A low resistance and a faster chemical change to electrical energy gives a lithium battery a very high discharge rate and a much faster charging rate. So I've prepared this spreadsheet so we can take a look at the numbers, compare apples with apples. The nominal voltage of a lead acid battery is around 12.7 volts when fully charged. When it's at 50%, it's 12.06. Because battery voltages differ at different states of charge, we always multiply the voltage by the amperage, and this gives you a total in watt hours. It's much more accurate to assess the amount of energy in a battery. In this case, that's 1270 watt hours. So running through this fairly quickly, the cost in GB pounds was 89. That gives us 7 pence per watts. The expected life of this type of battery is around 60 months. That works out at a cost per month over its lifetime of £1.48. It weighs 22 kilos. Its charge time is 10 to 12 hours, and its maximum advised discharge is around 50%. The maximum advised charge and discharge rates are around 20% of the battery's rating. The figures for a gel battery are pretty similar. The only difference is the advised charge and discharge rates as a percentage of the battery's rating are a bit higher, 5% higher in fact, at 25%. That extra 5% comes at quite a high cost when you compare gel with a conventional lead acid battery. So let's look at AGM. 0.1 of a volt, nominal voltage at 100%, and about 0.07 of a volt additional voltage at 50% charge. The watt hours are slightly better because the voltage is higher, but it is only 10 watt hours. The real advantage comes here in the charge discharge rate, where 25 to 35% is advised. And this means with a quality AGM that you can charge it much faster than either a gel or a conventional lead acid battery. It will also put out more volts and more amps. But that premium comes at a cost. But that cost includes a much faster charging time than a conventional lead acid battery or a gel. Now let's look at the lithium. Look at the higher voltage. That higher voltage brings the watt hours up considerably. It also means that things with a higher input, such as fridges, freezers or autopilots, are able to work much more efficiently as the voltage is higher. Because things are working more efficiently, you actually use less power. The extended lifetime at 120 months is much higher than any other battery, with a charge time of 1 to 2 hours and a maximum discharge of between 80 and 90%, and coupled with a charge-discharge battery rating of around 50%, lithium really is something that's worth looking at. Now, the cost of lithium has fallen dramatically, but bear in mind, all of these stats have come from the battery providers from Amazon, and they may not necessarily be accurate. But it is what they claim, and what they claim, when put on a spreadsheet, makes interesting reading if you want to compare apples with apples. In the next video, we're going to look at charging from mains. We're going to look at how to set your different chargers up, and we're going to look at what's best, whether it's solar or battery to battery. We're going to look at MPPT chargers, PWMs. We're also going to look at alternator charging your batteries from your engine, what's best, and how to set up different types of charger and alternator regulator. We're also going to look at very basic boat circuits and advise what we think you should do and what you definitely shouldn't do. We're also going to look at different ways of charging from your alternator. But that's all next time. Unfortunately, it was too much to get into one video. Don't forget, like, subscribe and share with your friends. And if you're feeling really generous, come and join us on Patreon. Until next time guys, sail safe.